everybody, today I want to show my gamepad profile for Starcraft. Starcraft is one of those games that's said to have too many inputs to be played on a controller, but I want to kind of disprove that and show that at least Starcraft 1 is pretty easily mapped to a controller. I'm using Anti-Micro for the mouse and keyboard emulation, and I'll have a link to the program as well as my profile in the description, but you can map this in the same way through Xpadder or Steam's customization. Getting straight into it, I have, as you can see, the right stick controls the cursor, the left stick controls the camera. Clicking it in centers on whatever you have selected. The right trigger selects things. The right bumper is basically mouse 2, gives you the context sensitive commands like moving, attacking, mining for minerals, that junk. Left trigger is your control modifier. This is double bound. Control is also bound over here. Shift and Alt around here. A is last alert location. B is escape, so if you're building something you want to bail out, or in your menu and you want to bail out, that's pretty convenient for that. X and Y control the game speed, so X lowers it, Y increases it. Start, of course, is the menu. Back, it just toggles this terrain on the map. And those are the really basic commands. The real meat are in the hotkeys, which I have set for my left bumper. Left bumper changes into a new set. And Starcraft by default has a lot of custom hotkey binds, so every one of these kind of commands has its own unique keybind, and I've changed this to a grid layout, meaning that, say, like each position on the grid is always the same. So the SCV has a different keybind than M, but I wanted it to be consistent across all cards. And what this means is that you only need 9 keybinds to access all of your hotkeys, and this makes it really easy to bind on a controller, especially with this kind of beautiful 3x3 grid here, because I've set all my commands up in a radial wheel, which this perfectly corresponds to. So for example, I hold the left bumper. Instead of controlling the cursor while I'm holding this becomes an 8-way radial wheel, and I just point in the direction of the command I want. So if I want to build something, I just point towards build. If I want to build a supply depot, I just press up and I have a supply depot. The only exception is when there's a cancel, you just use the B button to exit that. And this is consistent for every unit. So if I wanted to change this rally point, I just press in that direction. If I wanted to have these guys patrol, if I wanted to have them hold a position, and to access the middle guy, I just click the stick in. So if I have them moving, I just click. So I have all of the hotkeys for every unit bound to just a single radial wheel. That's pretty convenient. Down on the D-pad covers the other bulk of Starcraft's inputs, and that is the numbers to create control groups, as well as the locations. So while holding down, again, the right stick becomes a 8-way radial wheel, and these are mapped to the numbers. Normally I would have 10 or 9 and 10 bound to Y and B, but I have locations bound to A, X, and Y. So I've just settled with 8 inputs. If you're using Steam's customization, you can set up a 10-way wheel if you want to get all 10. 8 is plenty control groups for me, but because I'm holding down on the D-pad, I can't access Control, Shift, or Alt, so I've rebound them in this set. So I hold down Control is still how it is in the first one with the left trigger, but Shift is now bound to the right trigger, and Alt is now bound on the right bumper. And if I wanted to create a control group, that's just Control plus a number. So I would hold my set button, then Control, and then a number, and then whenever I just access that, I select them. If I wanted to have this be Control Group 2, I just put that there. So now I have Control 1, Control 2. If I wanted this to be Control 3, 3. So now I have, and of course double tapping can center on them, or you can hold Alt and immediately jump between them. So this is Control Group 1. If I wanted to add these guys to Control Group 1, I could hold down on the D-pad, use Shift, and then there. And then Control Group 1 is now includes both these, and Control Group 2 is still dispatch. So all the control groups are bound, or accessible. For locations, I have them bound to X and Y. To save a location, you just use Shift and the location button. So I would use the trigger. If I wanted this to be my kind of Y location, I'd do that, X location, A location, and then I would just hop between them. And that covers it. That's basically all the majorly important inputs for Starcraft bound. There are a couple that I haven't bound, such as direct binds to save and load and that kind of stuff, as well as text window or chat commands, but you'd be using a keyboard for that anyway. But having all the hotkeys and numbered control groups accessible, at least as many as I want, or I'm fine with, is very easy to do. I just needed basically two radio wheels, one off left bumper for all the hotkeys, and one over here for all the numbered groups. So yeah, hopefully this helps kind of like the 3 people in the world that want to try out StarCraft with a controller. Otherwise, I just hope this was entertaining. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day.